Hello, children. Welcome to one of maybe the most important concepts we need to know when solving out our math problems, and this would be the order of operations. Order of operations is the aspect of math that teaches us how to correctly solve math problems. So, when we see a math problem, most of the time what we've seen in math has been called a numerical expression. And this is a math problem that contains numbers and operations. A math problem that contains numbers and operations. Remember, our operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So those are our operations. That's a numerical math problem. And there are certain rules that need to be followed in order to make sure we're solving math problems correctly. And those rules are called the order of operations. The order of operations. These are the rules that exist to solve expressions correctly. Rules that exist in order that we might solve our rules correctly. Now, the first thing we want to do when working with this list of rules is know the order. So our first thing we want to do when we're solving problems is look for any kind of we're going to call this grouping. Whoa. I don't know what happened there. That got weird. We're going to call this grouping. The first thing we want to do is solve anything within grouping symbols. Grouping symbols can be parentheses, it can be square roots, it can be absolute value, anything that's grouping some kind of numbers together. We want to solve that first. Second, we want to solve any exponents. We want to solve out any kind of exponents that exist first. So we want to solve our exponent, or second, we want to solve our exponents. Third, we want to do any kind of multiplication and division from left to right. So you look through your math problem, you go, okay, is there any kind of multiplication or division? Doesn't matter if it's division first, then multiplication. Doesn't matter if it's multiplication first, then division first. You're going to do whatever comes first within multiplication and division from left to right across your problem. And then the last thing we're going to do to solve this problem out is any kind of addition and subtraction from left to right. So grouping, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, and then addition and subtraction from left to right. This is simplified a lot of the time in the phrase PEMDAS. PEMDAS. And what that stands for is parentheses or grouping, exponents, here's our multiplication and division, and here is our addition and subtraction. So PEMDAS is the thing we want to look for when we're solving out problems. All right, so take, for example, we have the problem. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit so we can keep our rules up here. Let's say we have the problem 27 minus 18 divided by 6. So this has multiple numbers in it and multiple operations. When we're seeing multiple numbers and operations, that's when we want to use our order of operations. So if I have 27 minus 18 divided by 6, I want to go through my list and say, all right, are there things here that I need to see that are in grouping? Are there any kind of grouping symbols, parentheses, anything like that that exist? No, there's no grouping, so we're going to move on. Are there any exponents that we see here? No, there's no exponents, so we're going to move on. Is there any multiplication or division? There is a division problem. It's right here. It's 18 divided by 6. So I want to solve 18 divided by 6 first before I do anything else. And 18 divided by 6 is 3. And I'm going to rewrite everything else in my problem in the same place that it was before. 27 minus 3. Any more multiplication or division? Nope, none there. So now we look for addition and subtraction. Do I have any addition and subtraction? Yes, I do. I have 27 minus 3, which equals 24. And that would be my answer here, 24. If I would have just looked at this problem and done it the wrong way, something like 27 minus 18 divided by 6, I would get 27 minus 18. I would just maybe do that first, get 9 divided by 6 would be 1 and 1/2. These two numbers are not the same. I want my numbers to be the same. So to get my numbers the same, I need to make sure to follow my order of operations. All right, let's work through another order of operations. Let's see what we have. All right, let's say we have the problem 36 minus 18 divided by 2 times 3 plus 8. Lots of operations and numbers here. So let's look through. Do I have any kind of grouping? Any kind of parentheses? No. Do I have any kind of exponents? No. So I'm going to look through and I'm going to start to divide from left to right. So as I'm going through, 36 minus 18 divided by 2. 18 divided by 2 is the first multiplication or division I come across. So let's do it. 18 divided by 2 is 9. I'm going to rewrite everything else the way it goes. I'm just solving it one step at a time. Just one step at a time and rewriting it after I solve it for each step. All right, now let's look at our next thing, any kind of multiplication or division. 36 minus 9 times 3. 9 times 3, that is multiplication. This would be 27. Rewrite everything else. Let's go through it again. 36 minus 27 plus 8. Okay, I have no more multiplication and division. So now I'm just going to do my addition and subtraction from left to right. 36 minus 27 is 9 plus 8 equals 17. And this right here is my final answer to this problem here. So from the very beginning, my answer ended up being 17. All right. In this problem here, what would my first step be that I want to do? Well, I have no grouping, but I do have exponents. So I'm going to solve this exponent out first. 6 squared is 36. 5 plus 36 times 10. What would my second step be? You're right, my multiplication. 36 times 10 is 360. And then finally, I add them together to get 365. Always going through these steps. All right, one more thing to talk about. When we are going through these steps, sometimes we might have parentheses. We might have a couple different types of parentheses. We're going to do one more problem all together here. All right, let's start with 4 plus 12 divided by 4 minus 2 to the power of 3. Whew, this is a big problem. So here, first thing off the bat, let's look through. I have two sets of parentheses. I have parentheses here on the outside. These squared parentheses, these are called brackets. I have some brackets here. And then inside those brackets, I have another set of parentheses here. So let's solve out these as we go. So we're going to start by my orange parentheses because that's the inside-most group of parentheses. Always start with the inside-most group of parentheses. And now once I'm in parentheses, I still want to follow my order of operations even though I'm in parentheses. So I'm going to go 12 divided by 4. That's 3. I have 4 plus 3. Those are in parentheses minus 2. That's all in brackets to the power of 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. So now I have 7 minus 2 in my brackets to the power of 3. 7 minus 2 is 5 to the power of 3, which equals 5 times 5 times 5, which equals 125. All right. Please let me know if you have any questions. Answer a couple of these here, and I will see you tomorrow where we can talk some more about this. Have a great rest of your night.